There we go. We are live. We're live there? Alright. What's up, guys? It is Beyblade testing time. So we got the BWC coming up, and we definitely need to be prepared for that. So that is the Beyblade World Cup. And we are going to be trying to show off what Texas can do at this tournament. So, what we are doing is we are taking a look at some of the combos that, or some of the decks we are likely to see, or formats we're likely to see in the tournament, and we're going to try and practice beating what we're likely to see. There's of course going to be shakeups and differences, and some people are going to throw out stuff that we never expected, but you can't prepare for the unexpected, you can only prepare for the expected. So we are going to be prepping ourselves for some decks that we think we're going to run into, and making sure that we have a decent amount of practice taking those things out. So we're basically just doing a bunch of combo tests, trying to show you how we combo test, how we get into the spirit of these competitions, and get your guys some entertainment while we do it. So welcome on all the different platforms that are viewing us right now in our quest for Beyblade supremacy.
So which one do you want to start with?
Alright, so I think we need to make sure that we can knock out Wind.
Okay.
So Wind, we know a lot of regions are big fans of. We see it quite a bit in winning combinations from region to region to region. And so I am building us a opponent Wind combo that we can fight. So Wind is the reliable right spinner that we definitely know is used a lot. It fights left spins extremely well, and a lot of people see success with it against right spinners. So it's solid against left spinners, but there's also success against right spinners. So because of that, it's a very reliable pick into a lot of formats, especially 5G.
Where's our guilty? Can I have that?
Here you go.
Thank you.
So we need to make sure we can cover it, essentially. So this is the combo that we're going to run into with this. It is going to be Wind Lucifer, Illegal Bearing Drift on 9 is extremely common combination, and I need to make sure that it is in the opposite force. What are my thoughts on Beyblade X? I think it is looking like it has some potential to be a very fun generation. The biggest concern I have about it is how they're going to make a variety of tips. The tips are looking like they're a little bit limited in what they can do with it to make sure it can continue to work with the stadium's gimmick. And I'm just a little bit worried about it that it's not going to be able to do it. We need our anti-slip mat. These things are great. They're little drawer mats to keep your stuff still in your pantry drawers or cabinets, and we use that as a stopper here.
Okay, so building Wind.
So building Wind.
What do you think is a counter?
Wind has counters in some very specifically built left spinning stamina types, and then in attack types. So that's really what we got to go on here. So we need you to bust
we're gonna
out
try that
guilty, and we're gonna see practice you knocking out this Wind. So that means you need to get the slanted launch so you can get the flower pattern so you can knock him out of the middle.
Now,
the only reason a slanted launch is to get the flower pattern, knock them out of the middle, and then knock them out of the arena.
we should trade.
We should trade? No, I want you to practice this.
Yeah, but you also need to practice.
I also need to practice.
And you
but we'll
have
get
a higher
we can
chance
swap.
of winning.
We can swap.
any
Hey
of the
Aryan, how's it
tournaments.
going?
Okay.
How's your life going?
So, against Wind, I want the flower pattern.
You need the flower pattern because I will be in the middle.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, switch. You need to not have that happen.
Might have been an in-air contact. We'll relaunch that one.
A good way to stop that from happening is to make sure that your hands are a little bit closer into the stadium, not so high up. So the Beyblade should be below the lip of the stadium. 3, 2, 1, switch. That was really good. You went into the middle, you knocked me up into the outer edge, and then you came around, hit me, and knocked me out. That's the counter to Wind. That's the way to kill Wind, and what we need to be able to get reliably. 3, 2, 1, switch. And the problem with the attack game is that if they do that wall hit that happened, you didn't hit me out, you hit me into the wall, and then I should spin you out here, right?
Right.
So this is what why wind is so prevalent is that the bearing drift driver actually catches onto this outer lip quite successfully compared to any other stamina base. And so we're going to keep seeing that.
Adjusting here.
Bay hunting in Hong Kong, were you successful? What kind of bays did you find there in your bay hunting exercise? Anything cool? Anything new? 3, 2, 1, shoot! Did not flower pattern there.
So not enough of a tilt.
Not enough of a tilt, too flat, probably a little bit too hard.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, shoot!
Now, the other thing that I sort of need to test out is, am I aiming for here? So if I'm aiming for there, oh, okay, that was a little bit too far left.
So you are a left spinner, right?
Yes.
Your bay is spinning this way.
Yeah.
And so when it lands, it's going to grip the stadium with the rubber, and it's going to move like this,
Yeah.
right? Because of that rotation. And so you're going to, if you land here, you're going to do a loop, and you're going to send yourself right out.
If I land where?
If you land here, you're
Okay.
going to go like that and go right out. You need to be landing closer to here so that the loop puts you to this wall. Like that.
So ideally I would have had some contact and not knocked myself out
Yes.
there.
3, 2, 1, shoot. And that was too tilted.
Okay.
So let's look a little bit at different tilt levels. So do it absolutely flat and pull. If it doesn't just bounce right out, it will whip around the outside, right? So let's just do a couple of those. Like that, right? This works really well if they're going to be moving in a similar pattern, or if they're going to be doing a flower pattern. You doing that is really effective. So do just a, that's a little bit too much of a tilt. Do
Okay,
a
okay.
slight tilt. There you go. Of course, not having an opponent makes it a little bit tricky.
Yeah, okay.
So pull less hard. There we go. There we go.
So then if they're in the middle, I'm hitting them.
You knock them out to the outer, and then you're hoping to be able to get them off. So we need to start it off a little bit lighter. You're pulling. You're doing the really hard
Okay,
pull,
okay.
but let's do it lighter and make sure that you can get that right.
Right.
So if you get that, you're more likely to get a knockout than pulling wildly. Even like that, that's enough pressure to really get the knockout. You don't need to be going that fast. And the faster you're going, the less likely you're going to be in control. Plastic V2 anniversary set. That's awesome. I got that set. I'm absolutely loving it. We're actually using the illegal disc from that set.
Nice. Hi, Ether Reality. It is going good. We are doing some testing. We definitely need some more practice at our attack combos. And we're trying to make some counters to things that we expect to see at the Beyblade World Cup in 2 weeks.
3, 2, 1, trip. Imagine a metal bit in Beyblade X. I definitely gonna guarantee they're gonna do it. It's gonna be similar to metal flat from the metal generation or iron from the burst generation. We're gonna see those metal bases. Probably, I would say that's gonna be like the 4th set of Beyblades that come out.
The OG ones are actually plastic, but we are getting ready for a burst tournament, so we are practicing with these plastic and metal burst Beyblades.
3, 2, 1, trip. So you're staying in there and you're getting the pits off at least now.
Yeah.
So we need to get you consistently doing that, but ramping up the power more and more. Because obviously we're not getting the knockout potential that you need against it.
The World Cup will be in Florida.
Yes, Miami, Florida. No, Orlando, Florida.
Orlando,
right?
Florida.
Orlando, Florida.
And that's on the 22nd it starts? 23rd? Whatever the Friday of June is.
3, 2, 1, trip. I think it's the 22nd. 3, 2, 1, trip.
There we go.
Nice. Okay, can we get that to keep happening?
Takara told me days only. I think you can use Hasbro.
You can use Hasbro if you want. It's just you're less likely to be successful. Hasbro hasn't caught up with Takara's size.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, trip. That was a knockout.
Well, it wasn't because you came back.
Oh, because they're doing... I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're doing the back wall rule or not. At one of our events, that would have been a knockout victory for you. It will end up in a spin out for me here, probably. Because you came back in.
Yeah.
Or I came back in. That's what I meant. 3, 2, 1, trip. Decent, decent. Oh, wall hits.
You dodged that initial knockout.
Lucky jaw hits. El Drago, yeah, is from the metal generation. Lots of metal in those ones. Beyblade X is coming out next month, and we'll have a lot of metal in it as well. And it'll be the new type of Beyblades that everybody's going to want.
So we typically see this with attack types. If you don't get that knockout hit early on, you're not going to outspin most opponents.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, hit. So I'm not trying to pull too hard so that I don't go up on the outer edge. Making sure that you are less likely to be able to knock me out.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you pull too hard on your stamina type, you might end up putting yourself into a tornado pattern, and the attack type will take the advantage. The risk of pulling a little bit lighter is it does get pretty close here at the end.
Yeah.
We are opposite spin here, so it's going to work out for me, and I am going to take the final little victory here.
We haven't really done any creations of crazy illegal Beyblade combos. There isn't a whole lot that is actually considered illegal in the burst generations unless you're mixing Takara and Hasbro parts.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, 2. Nice, nice, nice. Arian, 30 subs to 2,000. Is that us? Were we at 30 when you first started following us?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. 3, 2, 1. You were definitely one of our early
subs, yeah.
Early subs, and we appreciate that. You've been around us for a while. 3, 2, 1. I hope you continue to enjoy it. Or is that you? Do you have 2,000 subs now? That'd be cool.
So yeah, this will be the sort of toss-up. Like, if you don't get that perfect event.
So let's try you launching him, and I'm going to try my side here. I am, instead of going with Guilty, I am going with Excalibur here. I'm on Quick Dash.
What is the heaviest combo you've created?
The heaviest combo I've created is Ultimate Divine Belial with all of the gears. It is like 100 and something grams and weighs way more than anything else, but it weighs so much that it actually can't even handle its own weight.
Hi Bryson, welcome. We also like the good old days of playing with Beyblades, so we started again.
Yeah. Beyblades have still been going. They are still pretty active in generating them, creating them, and keeping them competitive. 3, 2, 1, 6. What we'll see from this is we are same spin direction, so there will be bigger hits. Those bigger hits will end in a much faster battle if I don't get the kill on you.
Right.
But it's also a lot higher chance I will get the kill.
Defensive combos haven't really kept up in the current meta in competitive Beyblade.
Beyblades got too heavy, and the attackers got so heavy they could toss pretty much anything around. 3, 2, 1, trip. So because of how heavy Beyblades got, defense types began to lose its potential, because the defense type would try to avoid the attacker, and if any hit happens now, they get knocked out. 3, 2, 1, trip. I have to practice from this angle here with a right spinner. I am very bad at knocking myself into my own pocket.
So do a couple of test launches.
So I definitely need to test.
Where you need to
So
land.
if we watch how I'm doing it, I'm launching like this, and I'm pulling it, and it's landing, and because of that movement, I'm landing here, and I'm just going right out, right? So I need to make sure where I land, it's going to do this every time.
Yeah.
And so where is the best place to land? I need to land over here, slightly here-ish, so that that movement gets me closer to this wall and less likely to kill myself. I am too bad at... I keep doing this, and I need to do it over here. So let's try that. And then I will loop around, and I'll hit here instead of sending myself out. And I need to do that more often, more reliably. We are really bad at taking out stamina types with our attackers, and that's what we need to practice to win this tournament.
Hello, Notboy2. Hello, welcome.
What's better, drift or bearing? Bearing is better in most scenarios. Drift is better exclusively in opposite spin stand battles. 3, 2, 1, trip. Now if you're talking about like bearing drift, things change. Bearing drift's better than everything. So I didn't pull hard enough this time.
Yeah.
But you didn't pull very hard either.
Correct. We are using TT bays today. We are getting ready for the Beyblade World Cup, and the TT Beyblades are the most competitive right now.
3, 2, 1, shoot! Got some more of the power there, but didn't really do anything with it. Quick dash might not be what I am going to end up going with. Let's try something else. I'm not seeing the speed.
So wind is definitely going to be what we are struggling against. We don't see this a lot in the Texas tournament meta. And why did you say that is?
In our meta, Dynamite beats it. Dynamite F beats Wind 2 reliably in our meta. I don't know if we have bad wins. I don't know why exactly that is, but it's the case. All right, I'm going to try Explosion Dash here. 3, 2, 1.
Well, if you can go to Florida and you're interested in going to the Beyblade World Cup, go to the website Beyblade Premier. They're the ones that are hosting the World Cup, and they are the ones that are selling tickets. It's a whole weekend-long convention of Beyblade battles, which is so great.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from now, 2 weekends from now, starting on Friday and going until Sunday.
Do we have any evolution bays?
We have loads of evolution bays from the Hasbro.
We might do that another weekend.
3, 2, 1.
Let's do a retry.
We don't have any of the V3s. We have all of the V2s. We did the duel there pretty hard. We didn't do a lot of the Switch Strike.
Slash Valkyrie, I don't think that is a TT Beyblade.
3, 2, 1. Nice.
So we are solely working on Takara Tomy Beyblades.
We're doing Takara Tomy, but competitive high-end Beyblades. We're not doing Beyblade requests really, and we're not doing older stuff right now.
Beyblade requests, if we're talking about the
if
combos,
they're competitive meta.
Yeah. If you're talking about something that can beat this win Beyblade, go ahead and shoot those suggestions. We may try them out.
3, 2, 1.
On this. How do we stabilize this?
So what we have to do is we have to get the legs off of. I tightened this, which helps a lot, and that might
the phone's
be
just
enough.
kind of a little bit shaky. A little bit shaky.
We'll see. We'll see if that's enough. Otherwise, we have to get the legs off of the table.
Hello, Lazy Blader.
Hey, Lazy Blader. What is going on? How's it going?
What is the combo that is on this Wind Lucifer right now?
So this is Wind Lucifer Illegal Bearing Drift 9 in Downforce, and it is the most common stamina type that we are expecting to see at the BWC, and we are hoping to practice killing it with attack types. We are not very good at that, and so this day for us is about practicing that. 3, 2, 1.
NATO said he's built a new Beyblade deck, Dynamite plus F Spriggan over Bearing Dash 3. 3 is not one that I've seen come up.
I wouldn't use 3. If you have it, use 9. But if you don't have 9, 3 is definitely fine.
Ether says Zyphoid Lucifer over Ultimate Reboot Dash.
3, 2, 1. Ultimate Reboot. What?
Oh, would Ultimate be able to take win?
Ultimate as the attack layer. He was talking about Ultimate Reboot, which is a driver that is not going to see any play in competitive here. 3, 2, 1. Too wild, and I'm not getting the power patterns. And then that's some of the problems with Explosion. Let's try again.
Nice. Guilty Longinus, Gilda, Metal Extreme. That's a good one.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, Bounds. Welcome to the live.
Okay, let's swap back to you doing some. Swap
do you
your guilty over to Longinus instead of Bahamut.
Okay.
This is going to up its weight.
Something happened to this driver.
What do you mean?
It's like off kilter.
It does that. It's more than usual though.
Yeah, something might be up. That would suck a lot.
That would suck to have a broken bearing drift 2 weeks before the tournament. Yep, that's definitely doing something.
Okay, put that one aside for now. We'll see if we can fix that after.
Alright. Nope.
We have one more somewhere.
Put the Longinus core in.
Yeah, Anybody have any suggestions on how to fix a bearing drift that's sort of jammed and stuck in one position? It's like leaning a little
It might
bit.
be bent.
Might be bent.
Might be screwed.
Damn.
Come on. Why are you not rotating?
You got along with this?
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
So we need our other bearing drift. That is on one of these. Where is it at?
Is it possible to try and outspin it?
So the issue is that the only way to outspin it is to use the exact same part, bearing drift, and it's not reliable.
The tournament is in Florida. Go to Beyblade Premier's website and take a look. You can come out and try and beat us for sure. Try dropping it to reset it. Thanks, Gavin. We will give that a shot. Yeah, there might be something stuck in it. We'll play around with it off stream later. Let's get back to battles.
Yeah, no, it is bent.
Leave it.
All right. So we'll just switch to our other one.
We're gonna do a test launch.
Good power, good angle. Do that.
Do that. Let's go.
If there was a Beyblade tournament where you could only bring one Beyblade to the tournament, you're just going to see Dynamite plus F and Wind. 3, 2.
Oh, watch your fingers.
The tournaments that actually bring variety are the ones that ask you to bring more and more Beyblades, not the ones that ask you to bring less. 3, 2, 1. Thanks. If you only bring one Beyblade, you have to bring your most reliable Beyblade that'll win the most combinations, the most battles, and that is going to be something on bearing drift that's a stamina type. 3, 2, 1. It becomes too risky to run attack types.
I thought Lucifer was unbalanced. We have not.
It depends on your Lucifer.
Yeah.
It depends on your Lucifer. It depends on your combination. We're seeing a lot of Lucifer popping up and used as a reliable stamina type. 3, 2, 1. That was loud. That was loud.
Might have been in the air to hit. Hard to say. Hard to say.
So yeah, we see the most variety coming in 5G format, which makes you bring 5 Beyblades. 3, 2, 1. Also formats that ban things like bearing drift. 3, 2, 1. If you were to see a ban on dash drivers and drift drivers, you would see a massive change in variety.
Turbo Spriggan is not Takara Tommy, and those are the ones that we're doing today. So I am not trying that combo today, not boy, but definitely stop by another day.
Which we have to. We do have one of those.
Turbo.
We
Yep.
have one of those Spriggans from Turbo Gen. 3, 2, 1. We are pretty much just doing DBBU and a couple of sparking options here.
Yeah. Are there restricted rules for any Beyblade parts of the tournament? So
Several of them do have restrictions.
There's 3 days worth of events, and they're doing a couple of different format types. So there'll be one where you can only use rubber bases. There'll be one where we can only bring stamina types, is that right?
Yeah, and you have to battle in the same spin direction.
Yeah.
So you have to be right spin, 2 right spins fighting each other, 2 left spins fighting each other kind of deal.
So there is, I think, 2 that the drift driver is banned. So it'll be interesting to see what people come up with for different combos, removing drift from that equation again.
3, 2, 1. All right. So now let's see about this. Oh, we can't do the stamina game because our other drift is broken.
Our other drift is broken.
I'm really concerned about this.
Well, you can't do anything with it right this second, babe. Sketch, it is a 3-day weekend, the last Friday of June. It's the 22nd or the 23rd, that weekend.
You can check it out on BeybladePremier.com. Okay, so what can happen to that is this. So let's try it out. This is going to be using my left spinner here in World Spriggan on Drift. So World Spriggan on Drift is an excellent opposite spin stamina counter. 3, 2, 1, drift.
We're going to lighter launch here. When bearing drift is banned, people will use bearing. probably.
We'll see some bearing dashes
We'll
for
definitely
sure,
see
but
some
we'll
bearing
also
dash,
see
yeah.
some other switches to things because other things become more viable as you remove all of the drifts from the competition.
Yeah, the Hasbro drift will also be banned. It'll be all drifts will be removed from 2 of the different tournament types.
Yeah, from the Tag Me and the 3v3v3.
Oh, you had a little bit more.
A little bit more spin here from the Spriggan gets me the win there, and this is what we're talking about, what we're looking at here. We need that to be an option. 3, 2, 1, rip. The problem with this World Spriggan is that it only works in deck format when you can choose when to use it. You don't want to ever fight something if you're not anticipating it.
We're using solely Takara Tommy Beyblades today.
We have not figured out why wind is used over dynamite. We have a lot of people telling us that they do use it over dynamite. We don't have good examples of that, and we would be testing it right now, but our second bearing drift just broke,
Really?
and I don't think we're going to be able to fix it.
No, I don't think it'll be salvageable. I think it's
So
spent.
I think we have to go onto a website and buy some bearing drifts that hopefully arrive before the tournament.
Maybe.
Because it's not likely we're going to be very successful if we don't have a working bearing drift. I did manage to take that again there, so let's swap this over to this.
Yeah, we're going to swap that in. Here's that dynamite combo.
So this is what we find is a little bit more successful than wind, is dynamite plus F. Pretty much the same combo, illegal bearing drift 9. It's just a dyna F instead. 3, 2, 1, rip. We saw wind lose repeatedly to this world combo. Let's see if we see the same thing happening with dynamite plus F, because we haven't been seeing that at our events. We've been seeing this be way closer than we were seeing repeated, consistent wins of the world against the dynamite here.
We'll take a look as well at some of the regional combo winners. We were seeing some wins in there, but we'll take a look and see what else was kind of prominently found between all of the different regions, and then we'll have to decide how we're going to try and build our combos in anticipation of people using similar to what they did for regionals. There goes that world.
Nope, and they both stopped at the same time. That was a tie. So Troymod's saying that he practiced this same thing that we're talking about with wind versus dynamite and saw dynamite consistently win.
Okay.
So we're just seeing that from Texas.
Interesting.
3, 2, 1, rip. It's possible what is happening is that, again, Vanish isn't very popular in Texas.
Right.
And wind might just be dominant over dynamite because of how it handles Vanish, not because of how it handles dynamite.
Yeah.
I think dynamite is better at resisting guilty than Vanish is, and I think it's better at resisting guilty than wind is as well.
We would be really happy to see all the Beyblade YouTubers at the tournament. There's a few people that aren't going to make it.
I don't think very many
Nightwing.
of the Baytubers are going to be there. No. Oh, that was a little tiny bit to me.
So it would be cool to meet some of them. We've met up with a few of them before at Michael Nightwing's events. We met Crisis Crusher, who is involved in a lot of tournaments. So that
He
would be
runs
cool.
Balance Tuned Beyblade YouTube channel.
YouTube.
3, 2, 1, rip. That guy's one of the best bladers in the world. He is super talented and very scary to be going up against. Are we going to review Super Hyperion Pro Series like soon? No, because we haven't found it. We haven't been able to get our hands on it, so we'll review it when we get it, but we haven't seen it anywhere.
We're missing that one and the Roar?
Rage Longinus, Super Hyperion, and King Helios, all we haven't been able to find. We've seen no links. One popped up on Amazon, but they say September delivery, so they don't actually have it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was to me again.
Noah. Will Noah, do you know which one Noah is?
Noah is left first. He will not be
He
there.
will not be
There's no
making it,
chance left
no.
first will.
And the tournament, Chrissy, is the Beyblade World Cup, hosted by Beyblade Premier. You can check out their website for more details on that.
That's BeybladePremier.com/BWC.
Yeah.
Will get you all the details about that tournament. Okay, so let's do that, and I'm going to attack it
Okay.
and see if we're seeing the consistency that I was talking about.
Here again.
I'm using my Xiphoid right now.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, rip. I tilted the opposite way, and that changes how it moves.
Sure does.
Need to tilt the other way.
Oops. Throwing bits around here.
So what the one we saw on Amazon for that, it didn't have a delivery date that was reasonable, so it tells us they don't actually have it, and they're just trying to get the money ahead of time. 3, 2, 1, rip. We tend to look for ones that actually have a delivery date that sounds reasonable. If it's more than a week or two out, they don't actually have the product. And oftentimes those end up being super late. They also are charging like $40 for it, and I don't think we're willing to pay that for
We
a
can
Pro Series.
wait for it to come out to Walmart. It'll get here eventually.
3, 2, 1, So Explosion just isn't working here.
No.
Gonna have to switch off from Explosion. I like Explosion, but it doesn't tend to see a lot of success. So I will steal that Extreme Dash over here. I might have to go back to Moon, though.
Yeah?
Xanthus, we're seeing a lot of scraping. Try again. Yeah, Zenki gets a lot of products early. A lot of people that, if they get the chance to get that product ahead of time, they get it to him. Lots of people have sent him stuff from all over the place. We're not that popular. You guys don't like us enough to send us stuff. 3, 2, 1. So we can hear the grinding there of the Xanthus disc, which is what I'm worried about.
Yeah. You're not popular because you can't launch attached types.
3, 2, 1. Maybe that's it. I might be slanting it too hard, so I'm going to try reducing the slant level. That'll be a victory for you. Let's just end that. We're trying to get those knockouts.
I'm killing it.
You are killing it.
Easy with a overpowered combo.
Right. 3, 2, 1. So not seeing anything from that at all. Let's swap that over to this instead.
What are you changing now?
I am going to
show the people.
Yeah, showing the people. I'm going over to a ultimate combo instead. This is still a right spin attacker, but it is slightly different shape, slightly different aggression pattern. And I bounce myself into oblivion. 3, 2, 1. There we go. So that's what I want. That nice flower pattern, nice speed, nice aggression.
You want to try and knock me out of the middle. How many bearing dashes do we have? I think just the one. Didn't we have a bearing break?
We had a regular bearing break. We have 2 bearing dashes. 3, 2, 1. I bought a second Perseus just to get a second bearing dash.
Right.
So we do have 2 of that one, which we will be using likely in our 5G decks.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. So no, I am not getting the kill there.
So you're looking for that really strong early hit when you're using an attack type, because otherwise this thing can spin for days.
Spin for days. Unlikely to lose. 3, 2, 1. There's our 2. Yes. It doesn't see a lot of use now that Bearing Drift came out and absolutely crushed it in all aspects. Bearing Drift does everything better than Bearing Dash does.
Show off those combos again? What are we building here?
So here we're using a Ultimate Belial 3 Fortress Extreme Dash up against a Dynamite Perseus plus F Illegal Bearing Drift 9. This is what we found is the strongest combo. Very few things can beat it. 3, 2, 1. I am trying to practice my attack game to successfully knock this out. And there are a lot of people out there that say that they can knock this out every time. And if I could learn that skill, that'd be fantastic. But I am not seeing success there. Let's see if Guilty does it better.
There's not a lot of ways to get single parts for cheap anymore. A lot of, I think that they've pretty much stopped producing most of them, have they not?
Yeah, they don't build single parts, they build sets. Some people buy the set, open it up, and sell the single part for more than they bought the set for.
Yeah.
But not very often.
Yeah, you can't mod your bays if you want to go into a tournament. There's, in all likelihood, you slightly change the weight.
3, 2, 1. Oh, there we go. There was the kill.
By doing any sort of modifications, and then the part becomes illegal.
No painting, no cutting, no adding things to it, no tape. 3, 2, 1.
If you want to enter a tournament, you're better off just playing it safe and not doing any sort of modifications.
practicing, learning how to launch appropriately. You take that one. But I had some decent success here. I don't want to play guilty. 3, 2, 1, rip. And we're seeing that huge resistance from Bearing Drift there. That would have been a knockout on any other base, but Bearing Drift is just so resistant to everything.
Again, it depends on what the modification is. Ether, like...
Yes, custom recolors are illegal.
Yeah.
There's 0 modifications you can do.
Didn't someone say something about adding a... I guess you can use, like, clear nail polish if you're trying to,
If you want to keep your stickers on. You can rub clear nail polish on top of the stickers, but it can't be on the sides at all. It has to exclusively be on the top. 3, 2, 1, trip. And it can't be an excessive amount. It can't be visible that there is clear nail polish on there.
Yeah.
Because that could, again, change the weight drastically. 3, 2, 1, rip. People have tried over games. Wow.
If you're doing like a fun unranked tournament, it will be up to the host on if you're allowed to use those type of parts. We did see somebody that had like a sticker on top of their Astral Kitty.
3, 2, 1, rip. I doubt Beyblade Geek will be doing a tournament. I keep killing myself with that. We're going to see Zanky, we're going to see Crisis Crusher. I think that's all of the... And we're going to see us, but I think that's all the tubers that are going to be going.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, rip. No chance Blaster's going. I don't think Left Burst is going to go.
Some people do not use attack types.
At all.
At all.
Correct.
I think we need to, particularly for the 5G, in order to have enough variety. But I wonder if you would be better off not risking an attack type. What do you think?
Training is more important.
All right.
3, 2, 1, rip. There's a kill.
We love the Hello Kitty Beyblade.
We do.
Yep, it's adorable.
It's usually in B's deck.
It sure is.
3, 2, 1, rip.
I think other collabs would be cool.
They just announced that Transformers collab, but it ended up being only in the app.
In the app, yeah.
3, 2, 1, rip.
Nice hit.
I'm surprised Hasbro doesn't I'm surprised Takara hasn't done a Transformers crossover because they own both franchises.
Billy Blaze is going to be judging in Florida. That's awesome. We look forward to seeing you there, good sir. We do have Vanish. We will probably bust that out in a little bit here because it is one that we're debating about making sure that we get a combo built around.
Either around defeating it or actually using it. There isn't a Barricade Lucius or Quad Strike since Ruin Pandemonium is like a replacement for Lucius. I'm not sure. 3, 2, 1, trip. They just did the variant Lucius, so they might still do a Barricade Lucius.
Hi, Colt. Welcome.
3, 2, 1, trip.
Parks organizers are the best, NATO. That's cool. It really helps us be able to keep things sorted out.
Yeah, we use all these tubs. Nice.
Nice. There you go.
There you go. 3, 2, 1, rip. Oh. I don't think those wall hits are counting at the BWC. Maybe our judge here can let us know if back wall hits are a knockout or not. I think an announcement said that they're not counting those.
As a knockout?
They're not a knockout, yeah.
Yeah, no. I think if it comes back into play, that's the rule that most are using right now.
3, 2, 1, trip. Send myself right out.
Are Hypersphere drivers allowed?
Not if they are onto a Takara part.
So if you're using like a Pro Series?
If you're using Pro Series or if you're using Takara, you're not allowed Quad Strike parts.
Interesting, okay.
3, 2, 1, rip. If you use a Quad Strike or any other Hasbro layer other than Pro Series, you can use a Quad Strike base, but you're unlikely to be successful. This is one thing that we want to look at a little bit though. There is one combo that is been mentioned. I doubt we're going to see it. I don't think we're going to see it, but it might happen. And that is the Quad Strike.
What's your Vanish combo, NATO? Was that NATO? No, not Boy. Not Boy 2. What's your Vanish combo? I took that one. Outstand you. That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Do we need to test it?
I want to see.
What is it that you're looking for?
So it's Whirl.
So Whirl is the Hasbro
Wind.
Wind, yeah. Okay. You're gonna put that up against a Guilty.
Not against Guilty. It doesn't fight a Guilty.
All right.
It fights something like your Vanished
But in
Kitten.
like a 5G, you have no idea. It could end up against.
Yeah, so
a
this
Guilty.
doesn't go into 5G.
Okay.
This only goes into controlled tournaments. Where did that Dyna go? Where'd you put the Dyna? You had it? It's in your hand? Okay.
Oh, so you were helping that Florida regional winner get all ready to go. That's awesome.
Let's try this out. Opposite spin stand battle. I think this actually has to be on Hasbro Drift, and I don't have Hasbro Drift. 3, 2, 1, Drift.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely planning on bringing all Takara Beyblades. We had just seen that some people were kind of theory crafting this Hasbro one.
Because it's so light, it ends up having some amazing life after death potential.
But what event would you use that in?
You would have to use that in deck format when you
Right.
specifically are expecting there to be left spin stamina users. Some people even had it beat. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Not with this. It had to be on the drift driver.
for sure.
So we can't use that one, but there's a chance we'll see it at the tournament. Low chance, but some people have talked about it.
All right, what's next? What do we want to practice some more of?
Okay, so if you are going to run Guilty, which you talked about doing,
Yep.
this is being used to counter it.
Burst.
And this is Burst, Longinus,
Thank you for the roses, NATO.
no, not Longinus. Burst. It has to be. It was one of the right spinners. What was it? Belial 2, or was it Lucifer? It might have been Burst Lucifer.
We were talking about Burst Lucifer at our last tournament.
I think it was Burst Lucifer. Here.
Dark Horse, yep, Friday night. Guilty on High Extend will surprise you. Have we seen that much in our...
Guilty on High Extend? No. We've seen some people try it. It did not work. So this sometimes goes on this. We'll try it on this. So this is a right spinning defense stamina. Actually, it should be on Zone Dash plus Z will be the best example of this thing working. We brought Zone Dash plus Z to the tournament, so it should have been on one of these bays. I don't see it.
Do you know what it was on?
No, here it is. There it is. Okay. So this is being used as a defense type that is supposed to be able to resist that Guilty there. 3, 2, 1, 3. So this is on Zone Dash plus Z. And people theorize that it is capable of resisting Guilty's aggression almost entirely. Even from some of the best Guilty players, this combo is working very successfully. Thank you so much for the Rose Rhynody Viking.
Devil.
What?
Isn't it Rilo Devil?
Devil King?
Devil King.
Devil
There
King.
you go.
I'm terrible at reading things. Look like Viking.
for
Thank you so
the
much for the
roses.
rose. That means a lot to us.
Prominence Valkyrie with Zone Dash plus Z.
3, 2, 1, rip. Yeah, Prominence Valkyrie will do the exact same thing this first combo will do here.
Nice.
On Zone Dash plus Z, it'll counter out attackers, especially Guilty. Hasbro might have had a falling out with TT. The companies obviously have different philosophical values when it comes to the product quality profit ratio. Yes, so Takara is talking about taking over production of Beyblades worldwide and dropping Hasbro as being
As
allowed
a
to
production.
produce their own versions of the Beyblades. Or the Beyblades. 3, 2, 1, rip. What we're expecting to see happen is that Hasbro will still be in charge of distribution, and they're still going to use Hasbro as the branding and distribution network in North America. That's what we're expecting. We're not 100% sure. I need to look into more of these things that have been coming out about it, but the wording in the original one made it sound like Hasbro's still going to distribute it. It'll just be Takara creates them and sets what the actual products are made like.
Thank you, NATO. That's awesome. Billy, yeah, we're definitely aware and not concerned. We're still going to participate in the unranked tournaments as if they were ranked because that's what you do in a tournament. And I don't like the chat that's sort of going on where people are already like, I don't care because it's unranked. I think if you don't care, then you shouldn't go.
Anybody going to the World Cup saying, I don't care because it's not ranked, so I'm not going to try, is just telling you that they expect to lose and they want a graceful way to lose.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, rip. If you're going to something called the World Cup and you do not try, or you are saying you're not going to try, that is just you giving yourself a buffer to explain why you didn't make it very far.
I think it's poor sportsmanship.
It's poor sportsmanship. It's a bad attitude to have.
We don't encourage that at our tournaments, so...
If you say you're not here to try, if you're not here to win, then why are you in a competitive event?
Not that you're saying that, Billy, but so there's been some rumblings already sort of in the community, and not here in Texas. Everybody that's going is so pumped to go and participate.
Bye, Arian. Have a good one. 3, 2, 1, rip. So we are seeing reliably this thing just crushing Guilty.
We're
going to see it.
absorbing that and making Guilty
so try that.
Pop right out.
Because it's all supposed to beat this.
Okay.
And that's why we're seeing some...
Here's my Vanish.
Quite a bit of use of it. 3, 2, 1, rip. So this is against Vanish Kitty. I might have been supposed to switch to high mode, I actually think. So I might have to
We'll
do
give that a try. See you later, Not Boy. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Not Boy. Have a good one. Wow, those roses coming in. Thank you so much, NATO. That's amazing.
Look at these little
Also, thank you guys so much for the 1.4 thousand likes. That's a lot of likes. That's a lot of people hitting that button. So will this come close? Do I have to go to high mode for this, or can low mode work out? Oh, it was a tie in low mode. So I will switch to high mode because I have been told that this is supposed to be in high.
So, and that's against sort of any left spinning?
Left spin stamina types. Okay. Now that's pretty exclusively Vanish.
Yeah.
Or World.
Right.
So we're going to try it against both. 3, 2, 1, trip. We don't have to launch very hard because this is an opposite spin stand battle. So the result is really going to come down to life after death. It doesn't really matter how hard you rip it. 34 roses from NATO. Man, you killing it here. Thank you so much.
140 before, so
140?
we're really racking up those roses. Thank you, man. Billy Blaze, so you're judging for the Florida tournament. I am assuming that means you participate in a lot of the local tournaments there? Watch those tappies.
Tappies on the end here. We're going to see which one comes out at the end of this as the victor. Ooh.
Let's call them a tie. Those are some real close matches.
Ranking is overrated, says Mark. I think there's a little bit of a problem with the WBO rank system that it has never reset. If it had more resets, I would care more about it. 3, 2, 1, rip. I tried to look at the rankings where I'm at, and people within plus 10 and minus 10 of me haven't played in months. So am I really competing against those people? I don't love that, but it does sound like Beyblade Premier is going to be doing their own ranking system starting up pretty soon, and that'll be interesting because they are saying they're going to have seasonal resets and ways to kind of argue that. We're thinking about trying to start up our own kind of little league system, badge system, kind of Pokemon style going on with some Beyblade, either with Texas or wherever we end up going. That went to me.
All right. So this is showing to be good against a Vanish.
3, 2, 1, rip. This is supposed to be good against everything left spin.
All right, cool.
Your WBO name is JakeCake88. Been doing competitive Beyblades for about a year. That's around how long we've been doing it.
I would say a year and a couple of months. We started February of last year.
That was when we started doing the competitive, yep.
Yep.
So we're a year and a half in now of competitive Beyblading. We're enjoying it.
Hosting local tournaments in Houston. We've gone to Dallas to participate in some tournaments there, as well as visiting with the Austin Flugelville guys.
Austin Flugelville, that was a tie. Set up, and we've gone up to Maryland to hang out with Nightwing, Michael Nightwing, who is an absolute boss. 3, 2, 1, rip.
Got to face off there against Crisis Crusher, TSO, Deceased Crab. Yeah.
A couple of the big names up in that area. Had some good matches. T&J also.
Yeah, of course.
T&J so good. We love those guys.
Yeah, it'll be fun to go and meet with some more people from the different regions. I'm excited.
So JC Drew, the guy who told me about this combo and has been practicing this combo, can no longer make it, I believe, to Worlds. And so I might just bring his combo to represent there. It is absolutely working solid here in these battles. Try it against that.
Okay. Just bought the Astral Spriggan set. That's a good one. Lots of parts.
Astral Spriggan customized set is a solid set to pick up. You get Metal Extreme.
What do we got this one? World.
So that is World, Spriggan, Wheel, Drift. Let's actually swap it to this wheel.
Okay.
So this is the anniversary set wheel. It is painted black and is just a little bit cooler. And then that is on 1S.
Nice. That looks sharp.
That golden black look.
Oh.
Left spin.
Left spin. Grab the wrong launcher.
Grab the wrong launcher. Opposite spin stand battle. 3, 2, 1, rip. Can't wait to put the S gear on my Guilty. Guilty S gear is what Raybuster just killed at our latest tournament yesterday. Brought that S gear Guilty and absolutely slew. He came first place, and I don't think he lost an attack battle except maybe versus me once.
He's
in the
really
entire
been
tournament.
practicing his attack types. He's going to be a force in the World Cup for sure.
For sure. Yes, you were at a tournament with us. You were Avocado. Worked together with Bry. Bry is here. Oh, that went to World.
All right. Just a couple of extra rotations thanks to the drift.
3, 2, 1, trip.
Oh no!
That was pulling drift a little bit too hard. Yet we risked that with drift. You gotta light launch it because it can absolutely destabilize itself. It might recover here. It did. It can stop itself while doing that, and that'll just be a loss. But as soon as it gets to the middle and makes contact, it's fine. It'll be safe from then on.
Nico says, I have some pieces left after 15 years. I think you've got some as well. We don't play with them because the plastic has got a little brittle.
Those are 25 years
old.
Those
are 25 years old. They are the old original plastic gen.
So we tried to play with them, and one of them snapped in half, and I was like, I'm not risking the rest of them. We're not going to play with those anymore. 3, 2, 1, rip. So this combo, this World Spriggan combo, I am definitely going to be bringing into any of my deck matches. I love this combo for killing the right spin stamina users. It slays Dynamite, it slays Wind, it's slaying Burst here. NATO's question over here. Dynamite plus F Spriggan 2, Overbearing dash 3. How good is this? That's a solid combo. Spriggan 2, a lot of people are seeing success with. Yeah. Let's check it out.
Dynamite plus F, Spriggan, Overbearing dash plus 3.
Yes, so we got...
each region has different metas. Florida loves stams, Indiana loves attack types. Yeah, we went through all of the winning combos, and we did up a spreadsheet, and we were kind of looking at the interesting changes from region to region. You know, so, obviously some regions had trouble with Vanish, and that is now removed from the meta, and...
So our region has almost no Vanish because I countered Vanish out with Guilty, and then, or not with Guilty, with Greatest, and then we just never saw Vanish like recover after that.
That was too hard.
Illegal Bearing Drift 3 here. So this is Dynamite plus F Spriggan, Illegal Bearing Drift 3. This is a pretty reliable stamina combination. A lot of people have been using the Spriggan core. 3, 2, 1, rip in these right spin stamina users. I see some success with it. I tend to go something a little bit different. I go with Dragons or with Belials. Sometimes Lucifer lately. I don't go to Spriggan too often. The dual spin cores, I don't love their teeth and setups, and sometimes they have some weird balance issues due to the mechanic to be able to change spin directions within them. They sometimes have unreliableness in there.
Close.
Pretty close.
Too hard to tell for me.
I would call it a tie unless I saw a slow motion replay of that. I think it might have gone to World, but it was very, very close. 3, 2, 1, rip. How good is Wind Knight's Blade? Wind Knight is a very good Beyblade. Wind, we talked about earlier in the stream. If you go back to the start of the stream, we were using Wind. It's one of the top right spin stamina combos. We're going to see it a lot in the tournaments.
One friend attached some sharp blades on them. Not legal for tournaments, but certainly if you are playing at home and you have parental supervision.
Or don't, you know. You likely won't if you're attaching blades. Our friend Mr. Snoop, Samurai Snoop, over on Twitch did that a lot. Razor blades onto their Beyblades.
Dangerous
3,
business.
2, 1, rip. They got a lot of cuts on their hands. Dangerous times. You have World Diabolos, both the red and gold color variants, and Blitz and Drift with 1S. That is a World Diabolos is solid. I wish I had Diabolos. I don't have it. It's actually better than Spriggan on this world combination. I don't have Diabolos, so I only have Spriggan, so I live with it. Mine would be a little bit stronger with Diabolos.
Yeah, that bounce driver is not used in competitive.
Bounce is not good. So on that Wind Knight blade, if you got Wind Knight, you have to get rid of that base. You gotta switch it over to something at least bearing dash, bearing drift, high extend plus dash, never.
World.
So World's taken that pretty handily. Let's try these two up against each other here. That's a right spinner.
Launchers.
So I need to know how that handles these kind of combos. 3, 2, 1, 3. There's the same spin direction and stamina, so you have to pull really hard. Not too hard that you do this. I messed myself up there and lost some stamina pulling too hard. You need to pull quite hard, but not so hard that you mess yourself up. I might still be able to take it because I don't think you pulled hard enough there. We might need to relaunch this.
We'll give it a couple of launches.
Kitty Wind 0 overbearing drift, a good combo for a tournament. It definitely is. That is a very low wind resistance combination. That thing on Whirl, or on Wind, definitely solid. If you brought that thing to a combination, that will be your go-to option in something like deck format when you don't know what you're up against. Quite a significant victory there. That was me.
Oh, that's you.
Pull harder this time. I know you pulled a little bit light.
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, trip. That's more like it. Seeing some more of that aggression.
Gotta
Something
get
hard
into
to
the
pull.
stance, you know? A slight knee bend will make sure your elbow is clear of any obstacles.
Yeah, World Spriggan, 1S, wheel, drift, absolute king, right spin killer. I'm going to be using it time and time again. I use it in my deck format all the time. It's definitely made some people change how they play the game. You can also run it on Moon, and we might take a look at that, and if it's any different in its success.
Getting tilted?
I think I'm going to take it. I do think Bearing Dash has just a slight advantage over Wheel, or Zone Dash plus Z there, so let's take that off. And switch it to, can you switch it to low mode? Mm-hmm. And we will put it back onto bearing dash, or bearing drift.
I have...
Okay, you're having nail issues.
My nails are shot right now.
So in same spin direction, you should not go high mode. That's only for opposite spin direction.
Yep.
So we'll try that against this, and you should be using illegal, not over.
Trade these.
It could use over.
Could use over. We're going to swap it to illegal.
You bought that yesterday after the tournament there. Avocado. That's a solid pickup. 3, 2, 1. We're building combos expecting to fight pretty much that combo. Maybe not Kitty itself. Lots of people don't use the Kitty core, but we do like it. The low wind resistance on it can make a huge difference in what it can do.
Illegal's out of stock right now, hey? There's a couple of websites out there. Do some shopping around.
Illegal is pretty tough. Can you find a long charger cord? Because your phone is at 5% here.
Instead of wheel, why not go with something heavier? Just curious. Ask Lazy Blader.
So the reason you use wheel on this combination is actually the shape and where it stands in the combo. The reason, with it sticking out a little bit from the 1S here, let's watch this battle finish. It did go to the Dynamite. So the Dynamite is able to beat out that combo there. We're going to swap that over to a Wind and see how that does. But talking about this, with the shape of wheel here, when they're hitting each other, if we look, it'll hit the square section of this once they start to tilt at the end, and hitting the slightly square, out of view, hitting the slightly square design of wheel here constantly will make it move enough to get some extra life after death. So it's really the shape of wheel here can take advantage of the enemy's hits and get you those last couple second rotations. That's what we need in that opposite spin battle. So when we're doing the opposite spin battle, you want the last second rotations because they're just spin stealing off each other constantly, and they're going to both get to the point that they can't steal any more spin. And so they're both falling over, and if they hit you on any of those 4 corners of wheel, they'll give you 1 more rotation than you would have gotten otherwise, and that ends up getting the win.
Need a brick. This doesn't work.
Let's try and find a break for our thing so our
Before our stream,
phone stream
guys,
doesn't die.
thank you. Just gonna get... Hello, Alva. Welcome. We are just trying to... Sorry for the shaking phone. Just getting this thing plugged in so we do not lose you guys.
A little bit of battery life for the 30 more minutes of the stream. We'll be going for about 30 more minutes, and then we are done.
All right, what's next to try out here? What are we
So
doing?
what we're doing is we saw that this thing here on Burst Lucifer wasn't able to beat the Dynamite, even although it was only on Bearing Dash, and this was on Bearing Drift.
Did you just take apart that other one? The other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one?
Yeah. No, the other one. That one.
This one?
Can we
No.
make it fight a left spin?
Well, you can, but it'll lose. The point of this is to fight a right spin exclusively. It will not beat a left spinner. Unless I change spin direction. You can't change spin direction in most of these tournaments, with the exclusion of 5G.
5G. Cool.
In 5G, you can have 1 spin direction change.
All right, let's get some launches.
Okay, so we're going to fight
Too hard.
way too hard. You cannot launch Drift hard. Drift has to be launched lightly.
All right, so what are you building? What did you just put?
I just put that Wind Kitty Illegal Bearing Drift 9 here to see that thing fight it. 3, 2, 1, rip. Nice light launch here from both of them because they're just going to spin steal off each other. What we're going to look at is Whirl versus Moon here on this World combo. So right now it's on Wheel, World, Spriggan, Wheel. And we're going to check it out on Moon if this is really close. What Moon acts a little bit differently than Wheel. So here is where that wheel is working. It's getting underneath me and it keeps hitting my wheel driver, giving me extra rotations. And I got that. Yeah, she got that little tiny extra bit from that wheel driver hitting. So we're gonna do that again. Wheel, weight disc. Because of its square-ish but round enough shape, it has excellent life after death, but still steals. 3, 2, 1, trip. So because of how high and the shape of Wind Spriggan here, or
World Spriggan.
World Spriggan,
yeah.
When it starts to fall over, it tilts enough that the enemy base starts hitting that wheel, and it just keeps giving you extra rotations.
And
so
these are same spin?
These are opposite spin battles.
Oh, opposite.
So we're going to get to the last little bit of this. He's going to get underneath. I'm going to get underneath her, and I'm going to hit her wheel driver and give her that extra rotation there that she again got and got the win. Now, if we change that over to Moon, I got a Moon around here somewhere. Yes, we're changing your weight disc to Moon. Where's our Moons? Here's one. So Moon will now give a gap there. When we lock it in, we got this gap here, and it's going to work differently than the way Wheel worked, but it still works pretty successfully against right spinning stam types. So it doesn't matter which one we use here. I'm going to first launch this Wind Kitty, and then we'll switch over to that Dynamite Spriggan. 3, 2, 1, trip. So I tend to win deck format pretty reliably because I'm very good at playing the mind game of what you're going to pick, and then being able to have combos like this one that absolutely destroy people's reliable picks. I go into the fight going, they're most likely going to start with that bay, and I can use this combo to get myself a slight victory, and as soon as you're ahead in deck format, you're much more likely to win it. More than any other format, deck format definitely gives you that advantage once you have the 1-point lead. So that was dead on close instead of you having the advantage, right?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, trip. So where with Wheel, the extra hits, we're giving it those little tiny extra rotations. Here on... Oh.
That was an interesting hit.
That was quite strange. That doesn't usually happen. Let's try that again. Is Divine Belial 3 good? Is Barricade Lucifer worth it? Neither of those are particularly good, no. 3, 2, 1, rip. Nobody's finding very much use for either.
I launched too hard.
It's okay.
Okay.
It'll recover. Divine Belial 3. Divine is a terrible blade. Belial 3, a lot of people are having issues with. It's getting less and less usage. There was some use because it had a really good burst blocker, but we're finding the unbalancedness of it just not making it very successful. Yeah, so that's dead on ties there. Let's swap that over to, or you're going to keep using that, but I'm going to swap it over to this Dynamite F Spriggan. Because we saw this going a lot closer against Wheel.
So this time we're pulling harder?
No, still the same thing. 3, 2, 1, rip.
Still soft launch.
Still soft launch. You cannot launch Drift hard.
Right.
Even if it was the same spin battle, you can't launch Drift hard, and that's why Drift loses.
That's why Tornado stalls.
Yeah.
Metal Fight base they were talking about.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you're getting Metal Fight bays, that is bays and bricks or bay warehouse have some pretty good stock to get your metal fights, but you're probably going to end up getting mid fakes because there's very few legitimate ones still available. Still dead on tie, so I don't think Moon is working as good as Wheel.
Yeah.
Wheel is just a little bit more successful.
So we're just seeing, because of the squareness, when they hit,
it gives little oomphs.
Just little pushes.
Little oomphs. So, there was a request, fight this thing against a left spinner. So first we're going to fight it against a left spinner. You're still going to use that.
Okay.
No, we haven't fought a left spinner yet.
Not this one. He was talking about this one that he built.
Oh, that one? Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Alright, there you go. We're getting up against the left spin. Hi, Colt. Welcome back. You just finished the show yesterday, Hungarian Dragon. Nice.
Which show?
Which one?
Quad Strike, Quad Drive, the original. 3, 2, 1, trip. I tried to get Brad to watch all of the original Plastic Gen Season 1 Beyblade with me. We got partway through.
I have a hard time getting into it.
She has a hard time getting into it.
I like a little more dark than...
It gets darker.
Like,
It gets darker. We haven't got to the evil organization part of it.
Oh, the original you just finished.
Nice.
So what you're saying is I should tough it out. And
Maybe we should see what happens when it gets into the fighting Wolborg and stuff, because we just finished them fighting the White Tigers.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit too lighthearted at that time for her. Tie. Dead tie. You don't buy Metal Fight bays. We also don't buy Metal Fight bays. 3, 2, 1, rip. We are not big on the Metal Fight Life. We are going to try out this Beyblade X Life. As it comes out, we're going to be some of the people leading the pack on it. Obviously not absolutely ahead of the pack, because several people have already gotten their Beyblade X's. If you like Noah from Left Burst managed to get himself some. Noel Churchill got them theirs. So there's people out there that are getting the Beyblade X's ahead of time. We're not going to be that lucky, but we are going to be leading the charge in it once we get it, and we'll be some of the first people to find out what are the best competitive combos, because we're going to be launching a absolute tirade of competitiveness.
We're so ready for it.
We are super ready. Just dead ties.
Yeah.
Dead ties here. Again, solid combo. 3, 2, 1, rip. What we should be doing is both of us should have swapped to high mode here, because we're opposite spin battling. And swapping to high mode will actually end up a more significant result.
Hi, first Q.
Yo, first Q.
Welcome.
Yo.
Alright.
So if I were to build a no attack deck, what I would end up building is I would do that combo pretty much with a different core. I probably wouldn't use the Spriggan core, but it would be Dynamite plus F there on illegal. I would build this combo here on World Spriggan, and then I would build that left spinning or right spinning burst combo to counter out Guilties. Oh, that went to you.
Just slightly.
Just slightly.
That's me.
That went to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would end up building, is something along the lines of grab
But yeah,
this.
I mean, I think you're right. I think you need to have the attack types in there. Opinion on Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! was good.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
The show was terrible in the fact that it just
Come
made up
on.
random rules that didn't make any sense. They were like, I'm going to use my polymerization with my living arrow to meld my mammoth graveyard into your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. It's like, that's not even rules in the game. That's not allowed. And they would just make up things, and it was crazy. The game was alright. It got a lot crazier now. I don't think I would enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. I enjoyed it way back when it first came out. It was a lot more balanced. Now it's like 20-minute long turns and then you die. It's not a lot of fun.
Alright, tell us how you really feel.
I'm wondering how the attack meta is going to change for BX. The thing about BX is almost everything's an attacker in BX, right? Even the stamina types, if they get knocked onto that outer edge, they then suddenly become an attacker. I could see Dransword ending up being not very good in it because he's going to actually send the other Bey into the gears and turn them into an attack type that smashes him. And I could definitely see Dransword falling off in effectiveness. So yeah, this would be the kind of deck I would end up building for deck format if I wasn't going to go with an attacker. I might still just go with that because it's a really reliable deck that works really well. All these combos are solid and are very hard to beat. If I wasn't going to run this, I would swap out this burst for a guilty or some kind of attacker and leave the other two because they are solid stamina types. I might also use this in there. Probably going to use that in there because I like to counter out the right spinners with that. But then there's 5G. I don't know if we're ready. I don't know if we're ready for 5G. 5G format is 5 Beyblades, no repeating parts, and then pick them in a random order. So you have to put them out into play in a random order.
I mean, not random.
Well, in an unknown order to your opponent. Your opponent has no idea what order you put yours down in, and you have no idea what your opponent put theirs down in. You're allowed one spin direction changer, so I'm definitely going to have this in my 5G decks, because this thing is an absolute slayer of opposite spin, and if I can spin direction change this, I could beat anything except attackers. And there's not enough attackers in 5G that I have to be too worried about it, and I should still be able to go opposite spin and resist attackers enough that I'm willing to put it in. I would again probably run something like this on high extend plus dash. That's going to give myself reliability in both spin directions. It has solid potential for spin stealing and opposite spin, but it also beats same spin combinations. I'd put this on Bearing Drift to give myself the most reliable right spinning stamina user that you can get, and then it gets complicated. So now I have my really strong, reliable 3. Then you throw in something like a guilty that you're going to put somewhere in your deck to hope to get yourself a clutch victory or a knockout victory that will surprise your opponent and get yourself some kind of lead. And then you need something else, and this is where people are starting to struggle. We're seeing Roar talked about, Roar on Never, or Roar on Bearing Dash is being talked about. We're also seeing some people consider the usage of Super M? No, Super R.
Stinky Pantaloons, welcome.
Hey, Stinky Pantaloons. We're also seeing some people talk about running multiple attackers. We kind of debated that, but now we're not unsure of ourselves because we had some bad attack practice at the start of this. Let's go into some exciting attack battles right now.
So, attack versus attack.
Attack versus attack. Let's talk about Top Rubber Tournament.
Yeah.
So at Worlds, there will be the Top Rubber Tournament. That is only rubber attackers. 3, 2, 1, rip! And you need to be able to beat other people in the attack meta. We're going to see 2 types of players enter into rubbers, or Top Rubber. People that think they can cheese it with some kind of defensive combination, or people that are going to go all heavy into the attack life. How you would do heavy attack life is you basically do this, one of these 2 combos, or Excalibur. It's going to be on Extreme Dash. It's going to use Fortress, or it's going to use Spread Dash. 3, 2, 1, oh! And that's the problem with that Belial 3 core there. It is having too much bursting.
That's what I like to see.
A lot of people are going to swap this thing over to something like Kerbeus here. Let's try that.
NATO says he's got 2 attack types and 1 stamina in his 3 decks. So if you are good at attack types, that is absolutely an option.
Yeah, I think some of the... What was it?
Indiana.
Some of the Indiana guys run 3 attackers.
Nice.
3, 2, 1, rip!
Oh!
So Top Rubber is all about those attack types smashing into each other and you trying to land yourself in the right position at the start. 3, 2, 1, rip! That you're going to be able to knock them out and they're not going to be able to knock you out. I got knocked out there.
Yes.
It's going to be a wild time. What we are going to see is people trying to cheese it. And what you're going to cheese it with is you're going to use Burst.
What is the Max Blade?
What is the Max Blade? What do you mean Max Blade?
I don't know. Kikatu is asked about tortoise.
Dracil?
Must be Dracil.
Must be Dracil from Max from the show. We've got some Dracils over here.
We got the collector's set. We got a few tortoises.
We got a whole set of tortoises here. So we've got Dracil Shield, Dracil Fortress, Dracil Viper, and Dracil Viper 2. We got all of our Dragoons, Driggers, Dronzers. They are not competitive, and we're not going to see them at the tournament, but they're fun. So if I were to run something like this, this is what I'm expecting some people are going to enter this tournament with.
Prominence is good. Prominence is definitely usable in some situations.
It is a left spin attack counter. 3, 2, 1, rip. It does really well against Guilty. We're not going to see it in Top Rubber because Top Rubber is all about that attack life. Nope. With the exception of this Burst Bay. 3, 2, 1, rip. Knocking each other in the air. We don't like those. But they will count for the tournament, most likely. Longest Over, Extreme Dash. Over probably gets swapped out to something a little bit different. Fortress, Nexus plus S. 3, 2, 1, rip. Spread dash. Over's fine if it's all you've got, but there are definitely better options in the attack meta. 3, 2, 1, rip. Ooh.
Guilty's doing some work here.
Guilty's doing a little bit of work there, a little bit of work. 3, 2, 1. I'm landing in the wrong spot, so I need to change that up. I'm messing myself up on this bay. No, we're fine. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Oh, nice.
Yeah, Lazy
nice.
Blader. I think the top prize is $500.
$500, yep.
And then there's a bunch of Beyblade prizes. They're doing some raffle prizes. So I think everybody gets 2 raffle tickets for getting...
If you got the pro...
If you got the pro...
Entry,
yeah.
3, 2, 1, rip. Can we finally see this thing actually doing what it's supposed to do? Yes, we can. There we go.
Nice.
So this thing is supposed to be set up as a defensive type that can last a while. It might actually get used on something a little bit different than Extreme Dash. We might be on quick. 3, 2, 1, rip.
But in the rubber base tournament,
It will still be on an attacker. Quick still an attacker. Exceed still an attacker. 3, 2, 1, rip. We're trying to not have it this end in a self KO. It's a little bit boring. 3, 2, 1, trip. I mean, there's the $500 prize, but there's also just the bragging rights, there's the experience, there's all that going on with this tournament that I think it's worth it for us to go, even if we don't.
I would really love to host bigger tournaments here in Houston. We've had like 32 bladers or 36 bladers come out. That was our biggest event so far. You know, and then everybody brings a parent or a sibling, and so I think we had 70 people.
3, 2, 1, rip.
So it'll be interesting to go to this convention center and see
How they handle
a much bigger
scale.
tournament. Yeah.
If we can, and we're talking about doing it, we will start trying to hold Beyblade events at some conventions.
You want to show off a Dangerous Belial and Shane Corbeus?
Not really.
Just grab the parts.
Dangerous Belial is not particularly strong. We got a Dangerous Belial right here. Base combo going on there. Dangerous has issues in that the Dangerous layer itself is too high up, and the smash points are not in ideal points to actually be able to deal damage. The same problem happens with Divine. We can see the shape of Divine here. The smash points are where this metal is at, and they're too high up. They don't end up getting the attack off very often, and that's why we saw neither of these enter the attack meta, where if we look at Guilty instead, look at where Guilty's attack points are. They're low down. They're really low compared to this really high one. If these are going at each other and this comes in, it's going to come in underneath, get the smash, and it's never going to hit that high point. It'll go right underneath it, hit you, and send you flying out. These will never be effective because of their shape. Chain could have been good if defensive Beyblades could be significantly heavier, but what they basically found was that once they got to this level of heavy, if you made a defensive type heavier, it just got better at attacking. And we can see that in Burst. Burst is used in as attacker, even though it has higher defense potential theoretically. It's just not going to end up seeing that use.
So yeah, that'll be rubber. Top rubber.
Top rubber.
Bases only.
And then the last tournament we got to worry about is going to be Same Spin Masters, and that's where you have to fight a Same Spin opponent. We're still thinking about what kind of combos we're going to bring to that. It might be something like this in the burst on High Extend plus Dash. We need things like Never, High Extend plus Dash, and maybe, or Bearing Drift to be able to win in that Same Spin Masters. But you have to have 2 Beyblades, and they can't have repeating parts, so you can't have 2, Bearing Drifts. So we are going to see some variety in that second bay. It's not going to be drifts because it's same spin direction. The only drift that works same spin direction is bearing drift. So we're definitely going to be seeing nevers, high extend plus dashes, maybe zone dash plus Z's. Some weird different combos are what is going to come into that tournament. We're excited about some of those different tournaments because it's going to throw some shake up. And Iron Blader is going to be a lot of fun because it's different stadiums, different modes, all sorts of fun stuff, and it'll be a good time.
Welcome back, Bryson.
Welcome back for the very end of this. We are just wrapping up this event here where we talked about the BWC and what kind of decks and formats we're going to be going into this with. We're spending our week here building our competitive combos to go to the tournament next week, at the end of next week. 2 weeks. So we're going to have 2 weeks of training because we gotta show up. Is Savior competitive? Savior is not competitive. Savior is the lowest of the attackers. I guess not the lowest. Gatling's the lowest, I think, of the attackers. Gatling's the lowest, then Zest, then Savior, probably. I don't know, but there's a lot of attackers because there's also Divine and Dangerous, which ended up are sort of attackers, but I wouldn't call them attackers. Some people would say Dynamite plus L is an attacker. It's not. It won't show up. The only attackers that are viable are Guilty, Ultimate, Zyphoid, Burst, and maybe Super.
Maybe Super?
Maybe Super. Somebody might be able to make Super or King work as an attacker, but I don't see it happening very often, and I don't see it being that successful.
Yeah, Top Blader, if you go on the World Beyblade Organization website, you can take a look at tournaments that are in your area. If you are interested in going to the one in Florida, anybody can buy that. It is a weekend pass, and you have to buy tickets to that one. So I would definitely recommend, if you're interested in getting into it, check out local tournaments. Go to the World Beyblade Organization or check on Facebook. See if there are any Beyblade groups in your area.
Yep, checking out your local Beyblades is probably the best bet. I wouldn't go to Worlds as your first Beyblade event, maybe, because it's going to be a little bit expensive and intense. But it could be a fun time if you just want to experience it and definitely have a good time with it.
Thanks, guys, for stopping by while we tested out some combos. If you want to see more videos or see a recap of today, check out our main channel over on the YT.
Over on YT, for the comments, people talking about Rage. Rage was one of the best attackers in the Sparky generation. It can't keep up in DB. You won't see it. Guilty just absolutely obliterated it from existence. Guilty is the best attack type. Most people would agree to that. Guilty is going to be seen time and time again. Ultimate and Zyphoid are slightly behind it, and then everything else is below them.
So, same name. It's Sazaze Games over on the place where you watch all the videos.
Our content can get censored if we are using words for other streaming services or video services.
Yeah, follow us on TikTok. We are trying to make sure that we're posting regularly.
At least weekly. We do something to help you learn about competitive Beyblade or about stock combos and things like that. We're going to be really into Beyblade X. You're going to see an explosion of Beyblade X comment coming in around July 20th. We're expecting to start getting the parts and start seeing that content come out. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We are Sazaza Games. I'm Zesty Fresh. She's Brennessa. And we are the best bladers in Texas.
Best bladers. Oh, I think you have some winners of your tournaments that may argue that.
May argue that.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Yeah, there's no combo for Rage that you can use that it will be competitive. It's just not going to keep up.